guys like horror
Welcome to Prime Time, bitch. Today we're going to be ranking all of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. Oh, that was so stupid. Alright, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to be ranking all of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, including the reboot. I kind of contemplated on not having that or in here or whatever. Coming in at number 9 is obviously going to be the reboot. I mean, is there anything left to say about this? It's the worst Freddy. No offense to Jackie Earle Haley. The main actress, forget her name, she didn't even want to be in it. It would have been fun if they would have done a switcheroo and kept Katie Cassidy in and killed off the Nancy and just made it different. But I don't know. It's just like a really shitty version of A Nightmare on Elm Street, except they make Freddy way more rapey.
Your mouth says no, but your body says yes.
They make the parents almost seem like assholes, like they killed an innocent person, but then they're like, "Nah, it's still Freddy. It's still Freddy, dude." So I don't know. It's just a stupid one. I didn't even want to consider it on here. I'll never watch it again unless I have to, unless someone puts a gun to my... Unless Freddy makes me have a nightmare watching the movie, then maybe I'll watch it again. I will say the opening of it, though, is pretty fun. I really like the lighting, and the nightmares that they do in it are kind of fun, too. But the Freddy takes me completely out of it. I don't enjoy the Freddy in it, especially his, like, really... I don't know, I hate his voice. He's like, you're gonna make me do something real bad. I'm gonna hurt you, Nancy. I don't know. It's just so I don't like it. He kind of gives me the icky wickies, and he just creeps me out. And the movie's not fun. Nobody in it even seemed to care about doing it. I think the director was like forced to do it. And there's just a lot of things about it that I just don't care for. But that being said, now that one's out of the way, every single movie on this list I fucking love, okay? I know a lot of people's opinions are like, Freddys Dad sucks, all this shit, back and forth mixing, the Freddys Revenge, he's too gay, all these things. I love all these movies. That being said, Freddys Revenge, Nightmare on Elm Street 2, is coming in at number 8 for me. This is my least favorite out of the core, like, Robert Englund Freddy movies. I don't know why I had to like describe it to you. Like, there's so many different kinds of Freddys that you might not know what I'm talking about. Except for his little, cleaning up his room montage. That and the really weird backyard scene that doesn't make sense, but it's just kind of fun. You get to see Freddy just fucking killing tons of people in a pool at a pool party. It's not the funnest one, I'd have to say. I really like my Nightmare on Elm Streets being fun, as you'll see on my list. So, like, other than a few scenes like that, it's just not one I usually go for. Also, I do gotta say, though, all of the bus stuff in this, completely, every time I see it, reminds me of South Park.
What was that? What was what? Dude, I think the scary monster is right outside the bus. What could it be?
And I'll never get over that South Park episode and just how much they've always reminded me of each other. Coming in at number 7 is gonna be Freddys Dad, The Final Nightmare. This one, it's always been one of my favorites, but if I'm ranking them by how good the movies are, it's definitely gotta be towards the bottom. I mean, I can't lie. It's definitely not the best Nightmare on Elm Street movie, but there's something about it that I just love this one. I love how goofy Freddy is in it. I love how just, like, crazy the opening is. And like, Freddy's the witch from Wizard of Oz. The house is spinning. He's getting hit by the bus and flies into the new town. And just how much I really like that kind of shit with the dreams. I hope if we get more Nightmare on Elm Street movies, they go really fun and wild with the nightmare sequences. Because that's just what I really like the stuff like that. And like the video game part. And just everything about every dream sequence in this movie is so fun. It's so fun to rewatch. For Freddy in Freddys Dead, I know a lot of people get really upset at the Goofy Freddy, but Goofy Freddy is one of my favorites. Now this one is going to be very controversial for a lot of people. Now, like I said, I love every movie on this list. Okay, some a little more. That being said, coming in at number... Oh, fuck, what number is this? Sorry. 9, 8. Coming in at number 6, A Nightmare on Elm Street, the original. And I'm sorry, I know that's really going to make some people upset, probably, maybe, I don't know. Maybe some people will understand my feelings on it, but it's one of those movies that I've seen way too many times. I know it. I could close my eyes right now. I just watched the movie. Like, that was stupid. But I know it beat for beat. I know everything about it. It's just, it's a great movie. I love it. It started this. The ending is pretty stupid. I hate that ending bit. It makes no fucking sense. But it's just, it's just a simple one. Like, it's just a one that started everything. I like I said, I love my fun Freddys, so I appreciate that this, like, created Freddy, and, like, it was from Wes Craven and all of that shit. That being said, it's not the best Nightmare on Elm Street movie. It's just not. Now, it does have some of the best kills. It has a ton of great death scenes. I think my favorite death scene in the original has to be Johnny Depp, and just the visuals of that is great, and it's kind of always fun. I love when you get like a Johnny Depp or Kevin Bacon. People like, you're like, wow, that guy's in a horror movie back in the day. Wild. But yes, I think that one probably is the best. Coming up at number 5 for me is going to be Wes Craven's A New Nightmare. This is also another fucking go-to for me, just like Freddys Dead, just because it's so different than the other ones. One, Freddy's look in this is fucking great. I love how Freddy looks in this. It's even fun because he has the, I guess, speaking of my, I was going to say speaking of my shirt, like I was talking about my shirt, but his glove in this is the claw that's in the posters of the first 3 movies. So that's kind of fun. I don't know what. But I love it. I love that we get, this is like very Screamish, where it's like self-referential, and you got Wes Craven writing the movie, but you have Heather Langenkamp playing Heather Langenkamp, but then also going back into Nancy, and you have her dad, and all that stuff is just so much fun. Plus, I mean, we got Rex. I mean, who can't love Rex? Best kill in that, obviously, too, is Julie. Ever play Skin the Cat? But that's going back to the original, so that's what kind of is fun too. Is they redo that a lot in this movie as well. But that whole scene of him dragging her across the ceiling, but like the other people can't see Freddy, but Dylan can see Freddy, and it's just the kid's a great actor in this too. I love Dylan in this as well. But yeah, that's one of my funnest scenes. And plus, I mean, that end credit music will be stuck in my head for the rest of my life. For the rest of my life. Dunga 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 dunga. Just every movie, as soon as it's about to end, that music pops in my head. I can't explain why. It just happens ever since I was a child. Coming in at number 4 is going to be Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. I mean, how can you not like this one? We got Bon Appetit, bitch. We got We'll See, bitch, from Freddy. We got a couple great bitches, I guess. Some really good bitches in this.
We'll see, bitch. We'll just see. Bon appetit, bitch.
Apparently, I didn't know this until after, because like I said, I loved all these movies since I was a child, so like my opinions, you know what I mean? Like, these could be the worst movies ever made. I'm going to love them because I watched them so many times as a kid. I recently learned that apparently they were making this movie as they were going, like, writing it as they were going, just like with Nightmare on Elm Street 4. So they made the death and nightmare scenes and then pieced a story together, which, you know, I think that's kind of fun. Some people might look down at the movie for that, but that's kind of interesting. It's not a way I'd want to make most movies, but for a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, it almost works. It's kind of like how you could make a Friday the 13th movie if you just went out to, like, a cabin and you killed, like, 7 people, and then you came back, like, the next day and you're like, let's just piece together a story of why you guys died now. Like, after you make some cool deaths? I don't know. I feel like for a horror movie, it could almost work that way more. It's kind of fun. In this one, we get a child Freddy. Not like we get a child Freddy, but I mean, we could also get a child Freddy in the form of Jacob. Well, Jacob is an interesting character. Freddy's getting to Alice through Jacob, through his nightmares. So you get I feel like they could have probably had more fun with that, honestly. I don't know what you would do, but have like child nightmares that turn into Freddy nightmares or something. I don't know. I've always just enjoyed her being like kind of haunted by her future son that's having nightmares of Freddy, and then they have to team up together to defeat Freddy. Plus, I mean, Dan's death alone, I mean, you have to look up some shit on YouTube to get the better view of all of it, but his death scene alone makes that movie just fucking great. I love that look. It's kind of, it reminds me also, if you go back to A New Nightmare, that car crash, One More Freddy attacks him and shit. Those two are very similar, so that's kind of that was a fun callback. in A New Nightmare to that. I don't know if that was intentional or not. It's like, I don't know. It's like every time they go balls to the walls with a nightmare sequence, it's always so fun that even if it's really stupid, I really like it. We also get Super Freddy. This was a good contender for, I mean, not even close to being my favorite kill in this, but it's, I don't know, just shit like that. Freddy, just having different versions of Freddy too, that like, oh, now I can get a Super Freddy doll, you know, shit like that. That's always just been really fun to me. It's also so funny. It's always stuck in my head the way Freddy says that. When he's like, told ya comics were bad for you.
Told ya comic books was bad for ya.
Last thing I'll say about A Dream Child is the ending is fucking batshit crazy too, which is another reason I love it. They have fucking people running on the roof, running downstairs in front of the camera, all kinds of shit. And then Freddy's mom shows up again and they absorb their babies and back into their bodies. It's one of the strangest endings, but that also just throws it so much higher on my list because I just, I don't know, I just love that. Especially because he pretends to be Dan too, and then you got the, hey, Krueger, just all of that shit. It's just, I would have loved to see what other shit they left out because it seems like they left every idea in this movie. Coming in very appropriately at number 3 is going to be Dream Warriors. For me, how I always start the Nightmare on Elm Street movies now is, because like I said, number 1, I love it, but I've seen it too many times, which doesn't make any sense. I know. I know what I'm saying isn't going to make sense. I always start at 3, 4, 5, and then I watch Freddys Dad, and then I'll go back and watch 1 and 2, and then I never include the reboot. And I don't know why I watch them that way, but that is the way I always watch the movies. So Dream Warriors is going to be high on my list because I loved that one as a kid. This is like since I was really little, I've really enjoyed this one. You got Larry Fishburne in it. We do have some of the best Freddy kills in this one, I would say. We got the fucking, just like the puppeteering one alone is a good reason to have this movie high on your list. The fucking creepy lady shooting the tongues out of her mouth while she's trying to seduce horny non-talking boy. I do these videos and these people's names just fucking poof out of my head. And she does it to little horn dog Joey. The one thing about this movie that I've never liked, and it's the reason that it's not gonna be my number 2 or number 1, is the ending with Skeleton Freddy. What the fuck? Who the fuck wants to see a Skeleton Freddy fighting Nancy's dad and this other dude from the asylum? I mean, come on. I want to watch Kincaid and Joey and these Dream Warriors have powers and fight Freddy. I don't care about the weird-ass skeleton looking like a Nightmare Before Christmas walking around stabbing people. It's just weird and stupid, and I don't like it, and it's just kind of pointless. But what does make that whole entire scene almost worth it is that Freddy fucking gets Nancy. She gets got in this one. He pretends to be her daddy and then fucking stabs her. That's a good trick. He should do shit like that more often because that really works. So, coming in at number 2 is going to be Freddy vs. Jason for me. Freddy vs. Jason has my favorite version of Freddy in it by far. I think the best Freddy in any of these movies is in Freddy vs. Jason. One thing I love about it is I get to rewatch all of the movies in the opening of it because it does a quick recap. Like the first 5 minutes is recapping a Nightmare on Elm Street. One of my favorite sequences in this with Freddy too. I'm not gonna talk about I probably won't talk about the Jason stuff. If I do Jason stuff, that'll be in my Jason ranking. But when it's towards the end and Freddy jumps out of the lake and he's all red and he looks very demon-like and he lands on the deck and he's like looking at our lady that I forgot her name as well. Sorry, I forget everybody's names in these. I'm so sorry. But that Freddy is I love little demon-looking Freddy there. That's really fun. Just the way that Freddy kind of fucks with Jason too. When he stabs into little boy Jason and makes him cry and just teases him, pretends to be his mom, winks at the end of the movie because who wins? They both win apparently. I mean, Freddy did lose his head. I don't know how we never got to see what happened after that. So who knows? He could have become Jason's fucking sex doll. He's Jason's fleshlight, probably. He went into the wannabe Jason Mewes, which, I mean, every movie should have a wannabe Jason Mewes in it. I love the storyline of the kids in the asylum and the hypnosil. They bring that back, and, that was repressing their nightmares. And I like that, they had to hide all of these kids that were having nightmares about Freddy away from the town so everybody could forget about Freddy. But then, so now he's got to get Jason to make people think he's back. It's just so perfect. I know it took them so long to get there. but they finally figured it out, and I that's such a perfect movie. I don't think there's almost nothing wrong with Freddy vs. Jason for a horror movie. Like, it's just such a, I mean, spoilers, if I do a Friday the 13th review, it's going to be very high on that list as well, because it has some of my favorite Jason moments, too. The only thing that I could knock this movie for is I don't care at all for Laurie and her dad and that storyline. It's kind of like, at points, a weird rehash of A Nightmare on Elm Street with some other weird shit in it that I just don't need. But other than all that, I love this movie. You get a really fun boiler room scene where Freddy's about to kill someone, but Jason steals him. And then just the fight scene between Freddy and Jason at the end with the music, the way they filmed it, it gets, at a certain point, it is kind of a copy of Friday the 13th New Blood, but that's okay. Sometimes we have to steal from other movies in the series, and that's fine. We let that slide. It's a fun Easter egg. I love the little moment where you think Jason's coming back up the dock to get them back, and it's Freddy holding Jason's machete. And then Jason comes up, somehow spring loads Freddy's claw. I don't quite understand how that works, but it goes right through his chest. That's like such a great battle. I wish we had more horror icons like that could fucking fight each other and it would make sense. Because like this worked so well. I wish there was more that could be just as fun. All right, so my number one. And I wonder if this will upset anybody, because I don't know, this just makes sense to me. My number one Nightmare on Elm Street is Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. And I know that some people hate this because at the beginning they just completely kill off all the Dream Warriors, which is such a horror movie thing to do. That has always bugged me a little bit. I always thought it would be fun if like Kincaid and Joey could go along a little bit more. Obviously, we don't have Patricia Arquette in this one. We have Tuesday Night, but that's fine. They killed her off really quickly, so like it almost didn't matter. To be honest, I had no idea that she was even a different character until like 5 or 6 years ago. Like as a child, I had no idea that Kristen was the same Kristen from Dream Warriors. And I might sound really stupid for that. Just the recasting is so weird that you're like, but it almost doesn't matter because they just kill them all off. So, but getting into it, like it just has the fucking, I love. This is mine and my sister's favorite part, which I realized I stopped saying my favorite kills in the other ones. I'm sorry. I love the time loop scene when they are in the truck and they're running around and like they do that like 3 or 4 times. We always have this running joke that every time a movie has a time loop scene, that like if we were making the movie, we would have that continue on for like 15, 20 minutes, maybe even longer. And then you just continue the rest of the movie just to see how many people would stick around and watch the movie for like a 20-minute time loop. But like you actually have to film it. Like, you would have to put in little things every now and then that were maybe slightly different, or like something like that to make people be, well, maybe, I don't know, that might not have been the same thing. I don't know. Like, I don't know. It just kills us with time loops. We love that shit. We get the fun little meatball Freddy stab. When Freddy eats the little pizza and stabs, I like how when he fucks with, like, the characters, like, I've killed all your friends, but look at their souls, and shit like that. That's always just wild. Because, like, just imagine Freddy murdered all your friends, and he eats one of them by stabbing a sausage on a pizza as they're dead, and he eats it right in front of you. I mean, how the fuck, like, I don't know, it's just really funny to me. Plus, I mean, the one thing I love about this franchise is just the special effects. That's also why the reboot is so far, like, down on my list. The special effects in this franchise are so great. Just the ending of this movie, when all of the fucking souls are coming out of Freddy's head. He does kind of turn into the tit demon from Little Nicky a little bit. All of them are climbing out of him, and like the hand comes out of the back of his head and grabs onto the pole. All that shit is done so well. I think some of the behind the scenes of it is a little scary for these movies, but I don't think anyone got too badly hurt. But yeah, it's just a shit like that just makes these movies so fun to me. And it's so sad that we don't have a lot of movies like this nowadays. I love these weird, wild, wacky, fun horror movies of them just doing like any fun, like the Bon Appetit bitch kill when he just stuffs the girl's face in fucking number 5. That's one of my favorites. Like just all of the really weird shit like that. That's like kind of torture, but in a fun, like Tim Burton filmed style kind of way. I really enjoy. I think we need more Nightmare on Elm Streets like that, or even like a series. I would love a Nightmare on Elm Street series. Plus, I mean, we get cool guy Freddy in this with sunglasses. We get Freddy sucking the life out of a girl's body, and I believe we got some of it in Dream Warriors, but we get a lot more of Freddy's mom and stuff like that in this, and introduce his backstory. And this is where I start to kind of, I think maybe that's why I like these back ones so much more, is because they like get into it, which also I want to throw in right here, since this is my video on all of these movies. The Son of 100 Maniacs thing has never made any fucking sense to me, because only one of those dudes probably the one that looks like Robert Englund, made it into that woman who then birthed Freddy. So I don't know where all these people are chanting Son of 100 Maniacs, because that is not possible for 100 men to come in a woman and them all to be the father. And I know that sounds pretty obvious, but I don't know, that's just something that's always bugged me with these movies, and I just had to get that off my chest. Well, I think I rambled long enough. This was way longer than I thought it was going to be, so I'm sorry for that. I probably edited it down, hopefully. But yeah, comment down below what your list was. Please don't judge mine too harshly, and like and subscribe if you would be so kind. And I guess I'll see you next time for another ranking or something.